Oh, we're live. That was weird. I didn't even hit the live button. Well, what's up? I haven't gotten Facebook Live yet. What's up, y'all? Good morning. You're going to get to see the what's up, good morning, everybody thing a couple times here. My apologies. Sincere apologies. 2114. Episode 214. Hope y'all are doing great. Hang on with me 1 second. I appreciate your patience. If you're watching this on delay, just skip forward a few seconds. Boom and boom. Okay, here we go. My apologies. Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday game day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Veterans Orthopedic Clinic, Hoodco Roofing, hoodcoroofing.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, ProChargeEV.com. All right. Happy game day, everybody. Only one more after this. Goes so fast, man. Next week is it. LSU, Texas A&M. Little morning kickoff. Anyway. But here we go. LSU, Georgia State. Another opportunity to see Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and the best offense in college football do their thing. Or do their thing. Because when you're that good, you got to put a little accent on it, man. Man, it's going to be fun today. And you better believe that this offensive staff knows what's at stake for these guys, and they're going to make sure they get theirs. So, power must have gone out the other day. Sure did. Anyway. Okay, so we'll say some good mornings here. Actually, despite the fact that the SEC slate is hot garbage today, there's actually some really good games in college football today that I'm looking forward to seeing. Tonight, Washington and Oregon State. I do think Oregon State wins that game at Reser Stadium, and Washington suffers its first loss of the year. I guess I'm curious to see if Tennessee shows up and gives Georgia a run today. We'll figure out some separation in that, a further separation, I should say, in that jumbled Big 12 mess for second place. And Texas has a tough one, y'all. Texas on the road at Iowa State. I think maybe LSU fans are just scarred forever because of what happened back in 2011 when Oregon State lost in Ames, Iowa, which opened the door for Alabama to get a rematch they didn't deserve. And then, of course, LSU's, to that point, greatest season ever was undone in New Orleans because Alabama got a second shot they didn't deserve. But anyway, yeah, so maybe Texas on upset alert today. But some good games all throughout the day. Actually, you got some good ones in the morning. By the way, did you watch Colorado last night? Phil Steele, 1-0. Gave you Washington State last night. Said lay the 4 with Washington State. And kaboom, did they get work? Did Washington State work Colorado last night? So no bowl game for Coach Prime. 56-14 was the final on the Palouse. But 11 a.m., Louisville, Miami. You know our old rule about an unranked team favored over a ranked team. Miami, unranked 6-4 favored over 10th ranked Louisville. You go with the unranked team, so like Miami at home. Where's the other one? I thought there was another one in the 11 a.m. No, that's the one in the 11 a.m. Utah, Arizona is a ranked unranked matchup. Georgia, Tennessee at 2:30. Illinois, Iowa is interesting. Iowa is trying to win the Big Ten West. So that would put them in the Big Ten championship game. Wake Forest against Notre Dame is interesting because it's Sam Hartman against his old school, but Notre Dame's a 25-point favorite. North Carolina Clemson, another interesting one at 2:30. That's an unranked team favorite over ranked team. Clemson's an 8-point favorite over ranked North Carolina. So keep an eye on that one. UCLA USC for the final time as members of the Pac-12 today, also at 2:30. So some really good games today. Bo Nix and Oregon are at Arizona State, so hopefully Arizona State can intercept him 3 or 4 times, and Bo Nix puts up about like 117 total yards and no touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That would be great. Oklahoma State vying to get to the Big 12 championship game there at Houston today. Okie State is 6.5-point favorite, so a short line there. Kansas State is interesting. Kansas State's another one of those teams that's 5-2 in the Big 12, trying to push toward the Big 12 championship game. We mentioned Washington, Oregon State. You got Florida, Missouri tonight. Kentucky, South Carolina. Texas, Iowa State, as we mentioned. So some really good games. Unfortunately, there are just not many really good games in the SEC. So, all right, y'all, let's say some good morning, see what y'all got. We appreciate you for being here. As always, please smash that like button on YouTube. If you're new, subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Scone page, share the post. Henry Price, Jerry G, Glenn Garner, Devin Johnson, good morning. Signed up with Hotworks. Love it. Yeah, so I've been going to Hotworks in the mornings. It's been, oh God, you see the crowd at James Madison for game day. It's incredible. I think the whole student body is there. It's pretty incredible. Very impressive. Yeah, so it's been good. Been going at like 5:30. Been getting up at 5:30 and going. So it's been good to get up, get out, and just sweat early in the morning. So you work out in a sauna. So Jerry G, Rebecca Claire, good morning. Austin Kidder, morning, Matt. Do you know what's going on with Angel Reese? She did not travel with the team last night. We saw them play here in Vegas. She was not hustling up and down the court and seemed off. I do not know what's going on with Angel Reese. I have not asked. And I mean, honestly, Austin, kind of don't care. I will eventually. But football season and all that sort of stuff, I'm sure that'll get resolved. But no, I haven't asked around. I don't know. I guess it could. Yeah, it could. Yeah. Deborah Coward, morning, Matt. Scored tickets to the game today. Should be a great game. Okay, awesome, Deborah. Enjoy. It'd be a great day. Jude McLaren, good morning. Go Tigers. Got to enjoy these Saturdays while we can. Dalton Barnett, morning, Matty. Can E-Rock predict JD5 playing at least 3 quarters? First week, fantasy playoffs need the points. I didn't know there was fantasy for college. I guess it makes sense, though. Larry Garner, Gary Petrie, Quandre, morning. Can you tell me where Jimmy gets those hockey picks? Yeah, so the guy's name is Dwayne Colucci. Duane. So if you're on Twitter or X, he's at NYBookie Dwayne, Duane. So Colucci is the guy's Dwayne Colucci. He's an odds maker out at the Rampart in Vegas. Gregory Gordy, what's the deal with Angel Reese? Don't know. Jake Matern, wow, LSU gets to wear purple today. Hopefully boomers' heads don't explode. Jake, I'm not a boomer, but I don't like. Okay, here's how I'll say it. In a vacuum, the uniforms LSU is going to wear today, the white, purple, white, that is a good-looking combo. The purple jersey, when you go gold, purple, gold, that is hideous. It is way too loud. It's too much. So when you go white, purple, white, it mutes that purple. Because the white is so plain, the purple pops, but it's not overwhelming. So the white, purple, white, the combo they're going to wear today, in a vacuum, looks good. But LSU's colors are purple and gold. So, and you have an amazing, historic brand built into your uniform, where you and Georgia Tech are the only 2 programs in college football that wear white at home. and it's your thing, and it's beautiful, and do it. But I understand also that Nike wants different uniform combos and different apparel on the sideline, and it's part of blah, 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 whatever. I don't like it. So, hey, boomers, my head's not exploding, but I'm not a boomer, but I don't like wearing alternate uniforms. If LSU had no brand, then I'd be perfectly fine with it. Like Oregon doing the whole Nike alternate uniform craze thing made a lot of sense because that became their brand. They didn't have any brand built up in Oregon's uniform, but they built it, which is cool. So if you're a program that doesn't have tradition and history and brand built into what you wear, then okay. No sweat, do you. That's cool. Let's see. Stoned Muso, good morning. This football year has flown by way too fast. Hope LSU fans appreciate what they're watching. Well, at least for half the game, you know what I mean? Like, meaning one side of the ball. Let's see. Jerry G, I don't see Tennessee upsetting Georgia, no chance. You know, Jerry, I learned a long time ago, brother. You don't talk in absolutes. Because I made that comment one time in 2007 when LSU was going to play Kentucky. Number one, LSU was going to play in Lexington against Kentucky. And I said, 0 chance Kentucky wins that game. We know what happened, triple overtime. So check yourself with the absolutes, brother. LSU did lose to Troy in 2017. Tennessee winning a home game against Georgia would hardly be the biggest upset any of us have ever seen. But I tend to agree. Georgia is playing really well, and Tennessee's offense has not really gotten going this year. So, yes, I tend to agree with you. But Georgia, oddly, as a road favorite, has been better than as a big home favorite. So, these situations tend to favor Georgia. But a really bad Auburn team had Georgia on the ropes at Jordan-Hare. So, yeah. Dax Jeter, morning, Matt. With the portal landscape the way it is, do we have funding to compete in both portal and high school, or do we have to concentrate on one over the other? So you're talking about like NIL funds? It's just going to be a matter of seeking out the prospects. Let me put it this way. You're never going to sign a class like A&M did a couple of years ago. The record number of 5 stars and all that sort of stuff. But can you sign classes like you've signed forever? Absolutely. Because the core of the classes are Louisiana kids. And always will be. Kelly Rose, Kirk Taylor, Kelly Presley, good morning. Oh, man, I missed myself. Sorry. There it is. Bubba Smith, Kirk Taylor in the Midwest visiting the in-laws for Thanksgiving. Okay. Going to watch Iowa, Illinois today. You're going to be there at, so in Iowa City. Very cool. Kinnick, right? Kinnick Stadium, the Kinnick Wave at the Children's Hospital. That's really cool. Very cool. John Hendricks, good morning. Jacob Willis, what's up? John, good thing about the SEC this week is there's good, easy bets, hopefully. I don't know if they're easy, brother. I mean, trying to cover big numbers ain't always the easiest thing. Michael Richard, morning, Matt. A less stressful weekend without the black and gold playing, LOL. Michael Richard. Hey, man, yeah, LSU gets a breather against Georgia State. We got no Saints game, so you're right. It will be a less stressful weekend. Kirk Taylor, those gridiron gold jerseys were awesome. Was that the gridiron gold? Was that the ones that they wore with Etling in 2016, I think against Mississippi State? Because I fundamentally disagree. Like the mustard yellow, those were terrible. That's not your color. That's terrible. Craig Duga, we're back, baby. Basketball school again. Craig, friend, we were never a basketball school. And we're never going to be a basketball school. But yes, LSU did beat North Texas yesterday. Squeaked past North Texas. Hey, Aunt Sharon, good morning. It's my Aunt Sharon up in Arkansas. Hope the fam's doing great. Please send my regards to everybody this morning. Dwayne Stout, Renee Marks, Alabama versus Georgia. Who you got, Georgia? All right. My friend Michael. That's what it says. It says my friend Michael. Morning, Matt from South Carolina. Having some friends for game day tonight. Can we get a score prediction? A whole lot to not nearly enough. Score prediction for LSU. I think LSU's a 31-point favorite in the game. I don't know. 52-21. But I mean, let's see. The total is 73. So, yeah. That would actually be right on it. 52-21 would be right on Vegas's projection. Let's go with that. 84-0. Let's see. Jesse Brown, Jude Sands saying, good morning, everyone. I wouldn't want it to happen, but if Nix or Penix gets injured, does that help Jaden? Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I wouldn't want it to happen either, but it would because it happened last year with Hendon Hooker. I mean, Hendon Hooker was the best player in college football, and he tore his ACL. They lost to Georgia, then he tore his ACL against South Carolina, and then, and then he didn't even get an invite to New York City, which was criminal, because he was the best player in college football last year. So, anyway. Slattery McCollum, good morning. Jesse Brown, does Daniels play the whole game, or if it's blowout at half, is he pulled? He'll play until they don't need him to play anymore. And I want to remind you, because I've gone through this a couple times already, whether it takes a half, 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters, 4 quarters, whatever, they're going to look at when the game is no longer in doubt to pull Jaden. And when the game is no longer in doubt is going to be when LSU's up huge. And when LSU's up huge, Jaden Daniels will have already put up huge numbers. So that's the thing to consider. Like the Army game, the Grambling game, he did not play at all in the second half of either of those games. The Grambling game, he had 5 touchdown passes in the first half. So like Jaden's going to get his today. It may not need to play 4 quarters. He's still going to get his today. Jason H. Morning, Matt from the barbershop. Abner Neal, what's up? Yeah, how about that? Bad News Birds won last night. Pels, or as we should say, in the in-season tournament, they're wearing those highlighter green, black and highlighter green jerseys. As Graf calls them, the Skeletons. If you haven't seen it, it looks like skeleton bones, like pelican skeleton bones. The Pelicans logo, so they call them the Skeletons. But yeah, it was a nice win last night. I watched the game last night because the Colorado game didn't start till 9:30. So I watched the Pels last night. Got home and ate some dinner, drank a few beers, and watched the Pelicans. So they looked good last night, man. It's fun watching Jonas and Jokic kind of body up on each other. 2 huge athletic dudes. Anyway. Damon Gilmore, Bubba Tatum, good morning from JFK. Little tourist trip to show the city to the little one. Very cool, Bubba. Awesome, man. And I'll tell y'all, man, I'm excited about this. So keep your fingers crossed and knock on wood. But we booked our trip to New York City for the Heisman this week. So if Jaden is a Heisman finalist, I will be doing AFR from New York the Friday before the ceremony. And then we'll be doing a special Heisman preview show in Manhattan the day of the ceremony as well. So very much hoping that works out. I did not go in 2019. Jordy went in 2019. So I am It would be a really cool thing to get to go to New York for a Heisman ceremony. So I might be a few weeks behind you there, Bubba. Antron Hemingway, good morning. Tigers got to win regardless of uniforms. We'll be back to the original uniforms next week. Yes. So LSU wears alternates. So just if you're wondering, LSU wears alternates for home non-conference games, except for the home opener. So they'll always wear their traditional uniforms for the home opener. And if they're playing Power 5 non-conference. So like next year when UCLA comes to Baton Rouge, LSU will wear their traditional uniforms. So when they play non-conference home games against lesser opponents, except for the season opener, is when they wear their alternates. Chewalt one, what's going on? Let's see. Jason, Troy. That's a Russ Mitchell reference. Oops, lost my spot. Sorry, y'all. Gwen, what's going on? Good morning from the Matsu Valley. I was wondering, Rowan was always one of my favorite Tigers and guests on AFR. I haven't heard his name come in a while. Does he still come on the show? Nope, doesn't come on the show anymore. Wendell Norman, Bambino 1895. Morning, Matt. Who dat? Go Tigers. Let's see, Michael LSU's 10-0 on overs this year. Going to continue to ride the wagon. Yeah, it's amazing, Michael. Vegas hasn't caught up. Even though they've alternated and inflated their numbers, they just still have not caught up to LSU. The over and the team total over as well. It's been an ATM all year. It's just crazy. For those who don't know what he's saying, so when you sports bet, you can bet the point spread, right? So like today, LSU's a 32-point favorite, meaning if you bet on LSU, they got to win by more than 32 for you to win. You can also bet the total, which is the total number of points scored. So like today, the total for LSU and Georgia State is 73.5. So basically, the odds makers are saying that when you combine the two teams' point totals at the end of the game, will go over 73.5 points. So they'll score 74. And LSU's team totals have been, so you can also bet on how many points you think an individual team will score in the game. And so that's your team total. And LSU has hit the over in their team totals, I think, every game. Now, the Bama game, I got it at 27.5 and they scored 28. There were some 28.5s. So that one for some people didn't hit, and it would have if Jaden didn't get hurt. But yes, LSU overs have just been an ATM this year. Antron Hemingway, let's see. Wish I could have that kind of break. I got LSU. My boys play the Panthers tomorrow. Hopefully I can get a 2-0 weekend. AW today, tomorrow before Thanksgiving. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Thanksgiving will be fun, too. Not only Thanksgiving Day, just because it's family and food and all that stuff, but also we should have a good day of football as well on Thanksgiving Day. Because, look, the Lions and the Cowboys are both good this year, right? So you get the Packers at the Lions. So great traditional rivalry there, and the Lions are really good. You get the Commanders at the Cowboys. Commanders aren't very good, but the Cowboys are. And then in the nightcap, you get the Niners and the Seahawks. So, and the Niners, both. By the way, both those teams are 6-3. You forget, like Seattle quietly has had a nice year with Geno Smith, and the Niners hit that skid in the middle. So you have two 6-3 teams that are tied atop their division. It's a big game. David Biot, good morning. What's Logan Diggs dealing with? Is there any concern he might be done for the year? Not that I've been told, David. Not that it would be season ending. So I think it's one of those things where you didn't need him. this week, so there's no sense in rushing him back. Give him time and play him next week against A&M. Let's see. Tate Granger, morning, Matt. What are the chances LSU wins tonight? Pretty good, Tate. Pretty good. Jude McLaren, good morning. Milton Borrell, good morning. From Baker, okay, good morning. Let's see. Antron, are you going to do Morning Scone from New York on Heisman week? Of course. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's Morning Scone. We've done Morning Scone 2,114 consecutive days now. It's been more than 5 years of Morning Scone every single day without ever missing. So here we are, man. Holidays, weekends, road trips, vacations, hospital pre-op. Y'all know the drill. So yeah. Damon Gilmore, LSU team totals have been my calling card. Lewoski Watkins, good morning. Do you see any linebackers in recruiting this year to complement Weeks and Perkins? Well, remember, they also signed Christian Braithwaite last year, and Greg Penn has the option to return. So you could see a situation where you're going to lose Omar Spates to graduation, but Greg Penn could return, who's quietly had a nice season. Penn is, I don't know if Cliff's watching, but if Cliff's watching, he's going to yell about Penn being on the field on third down. And while I agree Penn isn't necessarily the guy you want in pursuit sideline to sideline, he's a big physical inside linebacker who can plug gaps and stop the run. And just real quick, I'm going to look this up because I haven't looked it up recently. I think Greg Penn is your leading tackler, so hang on. Boom, 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 boom. It's Burns, I thought. God dog it. I thought it might be Major Burns. So Major Burns is your leading tackler with six. No, they're tied. Major Burns and Greg Penn each have 68 tackles. So Burns and Greg Penn are leading your team. I mean, look, you don't have a 100-tackle guy, right? I mean, it's a big difference. But, next week or next year, Penn could be back. Whit Weeks obviously will play. West Weeks will be back as well, giving you some rotation. You signed Christian Braithwaite this year. So you have another young linebacker who will be coming up. You can obviously go hit the portal if you feel like you need a linebacker. Again, that's going to be, I think, the biggest difference. Whereas, a year ago you signed 4 cornerbacks and 4 or 5 defensive linemen. Let's see, Jefferson, Lee, Agofu, Swinson, Shan, 5 defensive linemen, 4 defensive backs. You're just not going to need the numbers. Like, you may get a linebacker, you may get a cornerback. You know what I mean? Depending what happens on your offensive line, who comes back, who leaves, you may get like a lineman. We'll see. But as far as your commitments, Tylen Singleton out of Manny is committed. He's a linebacker, an athletic linebacker who can run, right? I'm looking. Devon Keys out of Texas. It's a 4-star. Xavier Atkins out of Texas. I think that's it. Yeah. So 3 linebackers committed for this class as well, right? So you have some young guys coming in too. So, okay. Trivia Carter, good morning. Eddie, I think LSU gets over 35 in the first half. The offense is rolling. That's a very real possibility, Eddie. I mean, it's just a matter of how quickly they score. Will they have enough possessions? But they hit that number against Grambling and Army. It's a big number, though. Jude, Covington native Brendan Allen fighting the UFC main event today. Very cool. Good luck to him. It would be nice to see him get a win before the Tigers kick off. That'd be really cool, man. Yeah, man, there hasn't been really there was a time there where we had, look, there it is right there, Allen and Craig, UFC Fight Night. I see it on the bottom line right now. There was a time where It was a really good Louisiana fighter presence in the UFC. Sean Jordan was probably the the most popular, the headliner of that group. Obviously, Dustin Poirier has become the flag bearer. And I say that with respect to DC. I mean, Daniel Cormier is from Louisiana, so obviously DC would. I mean, he's more of only a. Well, the number's growing now. I'm trying to think. For a while, it was only two that had held a title in two divisions simultaneously. That number has grown since DC did it. But anyway. But yeah, I would love to see some more Louisiana talent in the UFC. Let's see, is Javen Toviano the best DB now that Zai is out for the year? He only allowed one reception against Bama. I think Toviano's played really well. And I think if he when he finds his home, like wherever that's going to be, meaning is he going to play safety? Is he going to play nickel? Is he going to play boundary corner? Like, I don't think they want him at boundary corner. I think he's playing there and at nickel out of necessity this year. I mean, remember, he was here in spring last year. And they moved him all over. I mean, they played him at nickel, at dime, at strong, at free, at boundary. I mean, they moved him all over the place just to see where they thought he'd fit best. So they like him a lot. And whenever I think he was gunning for a red shirt this year until everything went completely screwy. But, I think I'm excited about him for sure. Let's see. Do you believe it's easier for teams to scheme Perkins out of the game with him playing over the slot and wide open spread sets? Do you believe putting him at stand-up edge rusher? You see, the tough part with that, Lewoski, is if you play Perkins at jack, he is a total liability in run defense. Because, I mean, this is just an age-old fact. When you have a small-ish end like that, you run right at him. Because then you put a big 300-pound offensive lineman on that player, and that player is just going to get blown off the ball. Like, you need him in space. So that's the tricky part, is how do you scheme? That's why Ojulari played jack last year, not Perkins. So they had to figure out how to get them both on the field at the same time. The thing with Perkins is he's athletic enough to turn and run and cover. So, yeah, there's going to be teams that force him to do that, but Perkins has also played great this year. Like, I know everyone expected this All-American Defensive Player of the Year type season, but Harold Perkins leads LSU in darn near every relevant defensive category. He leads you in sacks. He leads you in TFLs. I mean, he's been, after the first week where he was just completely caught in the wash against Florida State, when they finally just identified his role there as the nickel Sam, like, he's played well. I mean, Perkins is fourth on the team with 56 tackles. He's got 10 TFLs, which leads the team. He's got 5 sacks, which leads the team. He's got 5 pass breakups, which leads the team, because they're targeting him, and he's still coming up with pass breakups. He's got 5 quarterback hurries, which leads the team. He's got 3 forced fumbles, which leads the team. My point is, like, the defense is so terrible, you forget that Perkins has made really good plays this year. Anyway. Scott Bork, Peter Adams, Kirk Taylor, James Madison not being able to compete for a championship in postseason is nonsense. The NCAA once again proves they're a joke. Let's hear that Hudco theme. Kirk, here's the thing I'll say. And I'm with you, by the way, as far as, like, if a team can compete, why not let them compete? But, like, everyone's all pissed at the NCAA for that. It's the same thing with the transfer portal. Like, these are the agreed upon rules. Like the NCAA doesn't just fabricate bylaws. There's a competition committee that comes up with those. A committee made up of different like coaches and administrators and all that come up with these rules. So if you're transitioning from one division to the next and you have to sit out, like that's the NCAA isn't screwing James Madison. That's the rule. So if you don't like it, then change the rule. And I'd be perfectly fine with changing the rule because clearly they are capable of competing. And that's awesome. But like it is, and I'm no defender of the NCAA, but it's kind of just low-hanging fruit for fans that crap on the NCAA with stuff like that. And again, like I hate it, but it's the same thing with the transfer rule. Like, and I'm the guy who's like transfer 4 times, transfer every year if you want. Transfer every year. I'm good with it. You want to go somewhere different and be immediately eligible 4 times in your career? Go. I'm perfectly good with it. But the NCAA coaches complained about like, you got to stop granting all these transfer waivers. So they stopped granting the transfer waivers, and everyone's like, oh, screw the NCAA. Well, like, what are you talking about? It's the rules that you all complain about all the time. The fans are the ones who are always like, no, you can't. You should just be able to go. It's free agency. Well, the NCAA is enforcing that rule, and you're like, well, screw the NCAA. Like, what are you talking about? Like, pick. Not just you, Kirk, but like, you got to make up your mind. What, like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, which is it going to be? Okay, Kirk did want the HUDCO jingle, so here you go, Kirk.
Someone you know, Scone and Terry. All you need is HUDCO. Call HUDCO Roofing. 364-1007.
All right, HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Brennan Huff, everyone seems to be on Oregon State tonight. What about you? Yes, on Oregon State. Phil Steele, incredible statistic. Oregon State, 17-1 against the spread and 17-1 straight up at home in their last 18. For whatever reason, Reser Stadium has been a house of horrors for opponents. So yes, I do like Oregon State tonight. Barry Johnson, morning fam. I'm SLC on the way back south as soon as this plane can fly. Been in Montana all week for work, ready for no more snow in sunny south. Rip Jimbo, old news, but peace out, bro. All right, Barry, safe travels. Brad David, still remember LSU fans were cheering for Oklahoma State to lose in 2011. No, Brad. No. The opposite. When Oklahoma State lost on a Friday night to Iowa State in Ames, Iowa, and that opened the door for Alabama to get back into the national championship game. That's how they got the rematch. We wanted Oklahoma State to win because LSU wanted to play Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma State blew the doors off of Oklahoma in Bedlam that year. Won the Big 12. And that was what a lot of us thought, hey, look, put Oklahoma State back in there. They scored 50 against Oklahoma and won the Big 12. But nope, Bama got their second crack. Jude, how many DBs do you think this staff is looking to take out of the portal? Probably, I mean, it would have to be the right player. But I could see them taking like a cornerback if the right cornerback is there. You know, a safety if the right player is there. Douglas Hurstel, my usual signal to find something else to watch. Let's see. Trivia Carter, I think NCAA did the right thing because the rules want to make sure those programs can stand on its own financially with the help of bowl game money. Ronnie Duga working on working election, waiting for you to come on. Didn't get the notification on YouTube. Sorry, Ronnie, we've been here for a hot minute, man. But you scroll back to the beginning and watch. Thanks for being there, dude. Trivia Carter, Arizona is $240 million under because they have not been to a bowl game in 6 years. That doesn't really make sense, Trivia. It has nothing to do with them not going to a bowl game. I guess it kind of depends, like, how much do we actually want to have the conversation. I don't know how much y'all care about the business component, but Arizona isn't, in the red because they haven't been to a bowl game. Arizona, if they're in the red, I don't even know those statistics, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's because they spend more than they make, and they're in the Pac-12, and the Pac-12's media rights deal is the worst, which is why primarily the Pac-12 is dissolving. So it's like I say all the time with like the G5 schools that need the body bag games, the cupcake games, the paycheck games. Be like my, 6th grade baseball team. We wanted to go to a tournament. You know what we did? We sold raffle tickets for an autographed Nolan Ryan plaque, or we did fundraisers. We sold cookies or did car washes to raise money. Like, eat what you kill, Raise money for your program and support yourself. And don't spend what you don't have. But unfortunately, nobody does that. They spend way more than they have. Let's see. I could see ASU giving Oregon and Nick some trouble today. ASU held Washington at 15 points. Washington having no offensive touchdowns. It's true. Jordan Clark, let's go. Let's go, Jordan Clark. Go get him, bro. All right. Glenda Blanchard, Brian Broom, Devin Kelly, good morning. Working till noon. Ready to get out of here. Ought to be illegal to have work on game days. Got to get that money, bro. Priorities, dog. Get that money. Jeremy Sagely, Dre Marceau. Good morning, Matt. Game day with the family. Excited to see Jaden and LSU. JD5 for Heisman. I wholly endorse JD5 for Heisman. All right, y'all, think we're done. Appreciate y'all for being here. Do me a favor, smash that like button if you haven't done so yet on YouTube. Subscribe up to the channel, please. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Brought to by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, and of course Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist, go to Brock. They're just the best. Need a roof, call Hudco, HudcoRoofing.com. All right. Thanks for being here. Go Tigers. Y'all have a great day.